Hello there, Flying Fox and Babby Productions here. So I'm going to be doing another 00 gauge review, and it's been very quick. I mean, like you know, the last 00 gauge review that I did was like just 3 weeks ago. Well, yeah. So I got another 00 gauge steam engine, and it's one that I've been wanting to have for quite a while. Since it's actually one of my favorite steam engines in the world. Apart from the Bully Specifics, this is actually my favorite steam engine in the world. It actually comes in second place. I think you know what I mean. So the model that I'm going to be reviewing is this. This is the Airfix LMS Rebuilt Royal Scot, number 46100 Royal Scot, the first of the class, and it's actually one of 2 Royal Scots preserved. And yeah, this is made by Airfix, and we all know Airfix as like a company that makes, like, you know, kits for, like, you know, planes, ships, etc. They sometimes do some stuff related to railways. I think like those at one point they did make a 00 scale lineup, but then it was rather short-lived. I mean, like, I'm not the expert on the history of Airfix, but no, they're not in production anymore, unfortunately. But I'm happy that I got one. Like, they're not really that very rare. You can actually get them on eBay for quite a cheap price. I actually got this model for £24. Yeah, it costs 24 quid. And this actually is a very awesome model. I'll just get it out of its box, and yeah, I'm also happy that it came in its original box, kind of like with the Lima Great Western 94XX pannier tangles came in its original box. So, you know, let's just undo that. Let's get it out. I always like the unboxing rate, so it's so good. Slide out of here. And it's in the very crappy styrofoam packaging. And I'm not a big fan of styrofoam packaging, but, you know, it won't affect the model that much. So let's just get it out. And also, this guy is tender powered, so it's way more, the tender's way more heavier than the actual engine. So yeah, just get the engine out. I'm not really the best when it comes to doing this. And then we'll remove the tender out. And there we go. Right, so let's put the styrofoam packaging away. Put my camera up so it will focus on the engine. Move all these parts away. And let's look at the actual steam engine himself. So here he is, the Airfix LMS Rebuilt Royal Scot. And even if you're not a big fan of William Stanier, this design is absolutely stunning to behold. I mean, look at those smoke deflectors. I mean, haven't you seen any locomotive with these types of smoke deflectors? Well, you may have seen on the Rebuilt Patriots, the Rebuilt Jubilees, and the Thompson A1/1s. They had like a similar types of smoke deflectors to this, but again, this is just so stunning. I mean, like, I'll go through the positives about this engine, and I'll go through some of the drawbacks. So now start with the positives. The overall, even despite it being built in the 1970s, yeah, this is a very old engine. It's very highly detailed. It's not the most detailed, and, like, you know, today's 00 gauge locomotives by Hornby or Bachmann or Helgen, whatever of these companies, it still has good detail. I mean, if I'll just, like, and also another thing that I also love is the railing. It's like so shiny. Like, I've never seen a model steam engine have railings which are that shiny. I mean, look at them. That's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, like, that just makes the model way more posh and way more elegant, to say the least. It just makes an engine look very more elegant. So again, like, this is just absolutely awesome. And also, this guy is tender powered, and we all heard of the horror stories of tender powered steam engines being either useless or just not very powerful, but I personally do not mind them, because for me it has one advantage, is that you can get to move the driving wheels of the engine. You can actually, the driving wheels are free wheel, so that's actually quite good. So like I said, a steam engine with like free wheel moving pistons, it's just absolutely satisfying. Like, one thing I like about steam engines is the pistons, the rods. Like, look at that, it's just so beautiful. And well, like I said, the railing's so shiny. Like, look at the gleam. Like, I'm not sure. Is this even made of metal? Also, even the whistle is so I mean, look, it has a whistle and it's so shiny. You know, like, a lot of effort went into making this model look absolutely stunning for model railway enthusiasts back in the day. I mean, like, this is just stunning, absolutely gorgeous. But this model's not without fault though, since it does have a few drawbacks. Number one is that this is supposed to be in a BR. This is like BR green. It's supposed to be in like a BR colors and BR classifications, but the BR number plate is nowhere placed on the smoke box door. I mean, like, it's not even placed, and not to mention the shed code thing. I think it was. You can see it. You can see it, but it's just painted black. It's not painted like white or something. Yeah, you can probably see the. I think it's called the shed code thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. So yeah, that's one thing I do not like about this model. Second is that it's just, if I can go to the. There are cab details, like, just like with the Bachmann B1, they are not painted on. I mean, like they're just not painted. It's just I call this laziness, if you ask me. You put in some details in the cab of the engine, but yeah, you just don't paint it. I mean, that's like laziness, if you ask me. And another drawback, like, this is supposed to be in BR Brunswick green, whatever you want to call it. I just call it BR green. This is supposed to be in BR green, but like, it doesn't really look like BR green. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of drab, to say the least. It's just weird. It doesn't really look like BR green at all. It kind of feels like Great Western green. I know, it's very weird. That's the same thing I said on the livery on Flying Scotsman. It reminds me of Great Western green. Now this livery on the Royal Scot is reminding me of Great Western green. So yeah, this Airfix Royal Scots livery is just not really good. I mean, like, I'm not gonna bother bring out another BR green engine I have, which is the Hornby Tornado, which has a way more accurate type of BR green. Like I said, this just looks more like Great Western green. I mean, what do you think? I'll put a picture of Tornado right there on the top left hand corner, and you can see how the green is way more different compared to the one on the Airfix Royal Scot. I mean, yeah, you can clearly see the differences. Tornado's green is way more brighter, whilst this looks a bit more dull. Kind of like real life BR green. It's just dull. I mean, like, why is almost every single preserved steam engine painted in like BR black or BR green? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of BR colors, particularly on engines that were not built by BR. But you know, and that's not really gonna affect how stunning these engines are. I mean, like the Royal Scots, particularly the rebuilt Royal Scots, are actually my second favorite steam engines as well. I much more prefer the rebuilt Royal Scots than the original Royal Scots by Henry Fowler, but you know, that's just my opinion. What do you think? Do you much more prefer the rebuilt Royal Scots, or do you prefer the original Royal Scots? I think most of you might prefer the original ones, but you know, I prefer the rebuilt ones, and yeah, that's just my opinion. So yeah, this model's just stunning, and so before I give it a running session, before I give it a test run and do a little running session with this Airfix Royal Scot, so like I said, the motor on this engine is not in the actual engine, it's on the tender. And like I said, I mean, like, even though, like I said, the one advantage about tender-driven engine, I personally do not mind tender-driven locos. So the one advantage is that you can actually move the pistons. But like I said, there is one thing which I like, and it's not to say that I actually do like the tender driven. I do not mind it that much, but I still question myself, like who thought it was a good idea to put the motor on the tender and not in the actual locomotive? Because I mean, look, like, yeah, just imagine, this little thing has to both pull a long constant of rolling stock, but yet has to push a mighty locomotive attached right in front of it. It'll just make the engine way more, it'll make the engine way more powerless. So, yeah, like, I never understood why tender-driven locomotive exists I don't know who thought it was a good idea to make that. I mean, like, honestly, like, I never understood that. That's probably some questions that'll never be answered, I guess. But maybe might get answered at one point. They won't? They will? They won't? I'm not sure. So yeah, let's put it on one. I would call it a layout, but you know, I have to keep assembling and disassembling the layout, so I do not have like a proper table where I can put all this track. So I'm just gonna call it like the loop. Yeah, I'm just gonna recall the loop. So yeah, let's put it on the track, give it a little test run, and then we'll just give it a running session. I don't know why it takes so long for me to say that. And also another thing, before we give it a test run, I would like to say, like, I did test this engine out, and it was rather dodgy. So when I found out that there was like loads and loads of like filth inside the tender's motor, so I disassembled the tender and then kind of like cleared off the dust and all the rubbish and the dusty parts that were inside the tender's motors and gears. So yeah, it runs a teeny tiny bit better now, but you know, I might give it like a full maintenance or something. And like, I never thought that I would be like fixing model locomotives. Never thought of that. So yeah, enough talk. Let's just put this thing on the track and we'll give it a run. So here we are. I put my Airfix LMS rebuilt Royal Scot number 46100 Royal Scot down on the tracks. No, down. I put it on the tracks, I mean. So I got my controller. I got my controller right there, and I have a little loop of track and a siding. It's not really the best, but you know, that'll just have to do. So yeah, let's just give it a little bit of juice. And like I said, so it's very kind of funny since I'm not depending on the actual engine to do the work. I'm actually depending on the tender, it's bound to actually do the work. I'm instead of relying on the engine, I'm relying on its bum to actually do the work. I can't believe I'm saying that, but you know, I'm trying to be a comedic effect. That's probably a very bad joke, but you know, never mind about that. Right, let's give it a little bit of juice, and like I said, it may be a little bit dodgy when it starts, but you know, I'll just have to get up to speed. Okay, let's give it a little nudge. Oh, also another thing, this engine, the tender has like traction tires on it. It holds the rails so, like, it literally can move the rails. I mean, honestly, that's so strong. So anyway, let's move the Royal Scot. Oh, it's moving a little bit. Come on. Oh, it's going a little bit. It's kind of dodgy, but you know, that'll just have to do. We'll just give it a few laps around the layout, and then we'll couple up to some Pullman coaches. Where is he? And here's the Royal Scot. Yeah, so he's not the smoothest runner of my fleet. I'm planning to actually, like, you know, get him a bit of maintenance and clear out his motor a bit more, or probably add some oil onto his motor, but you know, that'll have to do. But still, looks pretty stunning while it rolls along the tracks. Yeah, it does look quite stunning. Just flip my camera around. Where's the Royal Scot? Here he is. So yeah, he needs a bit of time to just run around the layout for a little bit, and then we can give him a consist of some Pullman coaches, probably like five Pullman coaches like we did on the B1. So yeah, we'll just give him a bit of time to warm up. Oh, wrong way. Okay, take two. Well, that was a very sudden stop. Damn, this thing must have very good brakes. I know, like, this thing just stops so well. This thing has very good brakes. Anyways, so that was it. This is my review of the Airfix LMS rebuilt Royal Scot. In my opinion, it's a 9 out of 10. It's absolutely stunning, beautiful, has loads of great detail. The only disadvantage is that, well, it doesn't have cab detail, it doesn't have the doesn't have BR numbers on the smoke box door, and now it's green, just doesn't look like BR green. So, yeah, that was the review. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, like the video and subscribe, follow my DeviantArt Instagram, and you know the drill, nothing actually. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, the rest you already know. So, yeah, not much to say. So, goodbye and have a nice day.